How do we connect? I mean, you spend a lot of time on TV now talking about your personal experience, but how do we connect with young people that are flirting with this idea of democratic socialism? Because Hugo Chavez is a democratic socialist, or at least he started off that way.
They always start off that way.
Yeah.
And undoubtedly in Venezuela, we have a regime with people who are evil, who don't care about killing people, who want to stay in power.
Yeah.
But I think that that's just the ultimate result of those policies initially. I don't think that many socialists or any socialist starts in power by thinking that they're going to start killing people. They think that they're going to stay popular forever because their programs are good in their mind. Mm-hmm. And I have no doubt that Chavez thought that his programs were good. Many of actually the regime members were, trained in Cuba, and they were taught about communism, complete Marxist. So I think that they might have their own personal stories that forced him to think that way. Chavez came from a family where he had his own personal problems and struggles that were not fair for him, and that happens with many dictators. And they channeled that resentment into these policies. Now, I think that the way to try to persuade people in this country that those policies are wrong are by talking about the policies and not necessarily about the word. We use a lot the word socialism, and for everybody that word has a different meaning.
Yeah.
And I think that you can see that in polls. If you ask people about the Green New Deal, they agree with the Green New Deal, but then if you ask about the specific policies in the Green New Deal, they're all very unpopular. And I think that that's where we need to focus the conversation, and that's where we see the people who propose those policies, like Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. She just says the Green New Deal. She's not even talking about the underlying policies anymore, because the word is popular. We have to debunk that word and not use it anymore. We have to just say, price controls are bad. Free jobs for everybody is wrong. People need to earn their way. The government that's not the job of the government. And these policies lead to poverty, and we don't want poverty, we want prosperity for everybody.
Tell the story. You were old enough to spend plenty of time trying to acquire basic family goods and food and toilet paper. Explain what happens when price controls are imposed in order to protect consumers.
Yeah, I'm going to give you an example with all the basic goods. So the government wanted milk, toilet paper. They wanted beef, chicken, flour to be nearly free. And to do that, they just forced businessmen to charge almost nothing. As a result, when I went to the supermarket, I had to actually use my fingerprint to buy what I needed, even in pharmacies as well. So I had to put my fingerprint in where the cashiers, they had fingerprint machines. And they would load my profile, and they would see how much I had left in my quota. They had to have quotas. This is like 1984. It's very scary. And when they saw my profile, I could buy as many toothpaste per month or per week. And of course, it pissed me off because I don't think the government should be telling me how much I could buy. I wasn't buying for myself alone. I was buying for my mom, for my dad. Why should they be here when I'm just buying for all of them so that not everybody has to go to the supermarket at the same time? I was even told which days I could go by my ID number, with the national ID that we had, the cédula, because mine ended in number 1. I could only go to the supermarket on Mondays and Saturdays because that's the way the government thought that would be the best way to ration food fairly, quote unquote. They had to ration it because if there's no profit incentive for the business people to actually produce, then they're just not producing. And because they didn't produce, they had to ration it, or just a few people will get everything. I think that that's not fair with the poor. I don't think it's fair to force a single mother to have to ration the food that she wants for her children, that she has to work for the government, that she has to depend on people. I don't think it's fair for me, that I was just a high school student, to have to not be able to go to the supermarket without my parents, or that if I forgot my ID, I couldn't get what I needed. And it's not fair that I lost my electricity every week because they wanted to give it away for free. At the end, what was free became nothing. Everything that the government said it was going to be all right stopped being even existent. Everything disappeared. So I think that we need to be careful.
So the